Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. And again, my name is MK. I'm married to a Korean national, and right now I'm here in South Korea. So, for today's video, we are going to talk about our F6 visa part 2. And yes, this is my fourth attempt of making a video. And it actually took me, I think, 3 days or 4 days to reshoot this video because I felt so down na hindi siya na-record. And that was like 30 minutes or so. So, anyways, yes, we are here back again, very lively, happy, willing to, share my knowledge about F6 visa. So let's get started. All right. So pretty much we have covered this part, the F61 requirements, the basic requirements. And today we are going to talk about the income requirement documents of Korean spouse. So let's begin. Now, precaution, there's no need to prepare all of the following requirements, but commonly required, such as this, documents are mandatory, and the inviter may prepare the documents selectively according to how he or she will satisfy the income requirement. And submission is waived for those exempted. Refer to number one. All right. So, na kita nyo naman na according to how he or she will satisfy the income requirement. So, depende kasi ito kung ano yung trabaho or ginagawa ng husband nyo sa Korea. Meron kasing like for example, here we have an employment, we have business or using other type of income. All right, but before digging into that, we let's read number one first because this part pwede siyang maging wave if eto. All right, number one, exempted from income requirements. Number one, if there is a child born between the couple or if the wife is pregnant 20 weeks and above with a child between the couple. All right, so kung meron na kayong anak, then exempted ka na po nito. Or wife ka po, tapos pregnant ka 20 weeks and above between the couple, okay? So wave ka na din po doon. All right, number two, if the couple has lived overseas together for at least 1 year from the date of visa application. Number three, if the foreign spouse has stayed in Korea with spouse F61 status in the past. So if naka F61 na po kayo and then siguro bumalik kayo ng Philippines and stay there for a couple of years and gusto niyo bumalik ulit dito sa Korea, then hindi na po need yung income requirements. All right, but not applicable if the Korean spouse is different. So if bago na po yung asawa nyo, then of course it's not applicable po. So it has to be the same marriage and also not discontinued. All right. So if applicable naman po kayo sa number one, you have to submit birth certificate of the child and of course showing na yung um, ikaw at yung husband mo, yung parents. And for those applicable number two, submit documents to prove having lived together. Okay, so let's dig in. Here, let's move on. Ito yung income requirements na kinapi ko din. So as you can see, ito lang yung pinasa namin sa husband ko. So 2-1 to 2-6. So the rest are hindi namin ginamit. It's because my husband, wala naman siyang business. We're not using other income. We're also not submitting for assets. And if using income or assets of families, hindi naman to applicable sa amin. Alright, so again, make sure na you read through this before kayo mag-ready ng mga income requirements. Kasi when you look at this, medyo marami kasi siya. 'Di ba? So ito lang yung pinaka commonly required, 2-1, 2-2. Original certificate of income and one copy of certificate of credit history. So saan mo yan kukuha? Alam niya ng husband nyo or yung Korean spouse nyo. So issued from National Tax Service Home Tax website or Tax Civil Service Office, issued within 3 months. And another one is issued from Korea Credit Information Services website, issued within 3 months. So as you've noticed po, nakukuha nila lahat sa kanilang website. So it's the same na if kukuha sila ng birth certificate, marriage certificate, nakukuha kasi nila yan lahat sa website. And normally, walang bayad. But just make sure na issued within 3 months po siya. So if you're planning to apply visa mga 6 months after, wag po muna kayong kumuha ng, or wag po muna kumuha yung husband nyo or yung Korean spouse nyo ng mga ganito. Because again, it has to be within 3 months. All right? Okay, so ito naman, 2-3 to 2-6. Yan. So, napasa din kami yan. So, kasi employment nga. So, first is Certificate of Earned Income Tax Withholding, Certificate of Employment, photocopy of business registration, and documents to prove income. But this is optional. All right. But the first 2-3, 2-4, 2-5, makukuha niya yan sa or current or past employer niya. So, again, madali lang sa kanila yan. Normally, ready na yan. Like, photocopy na lang yung kulang. Or they just have to request it. All right. And 2-6, documents to prove income in case income requirement cannot be satisfied by the above documents. So, normally, again, masasatisfy yan kung meron naman kayong 2-3, 4, and 5. Alright? And if yung husband niyo po or your Korean spouse, merong business, then of course, business registration and other documents then. Alright? So, another income, house rental, land or real estate register, contract of lease, income from bank interest, or bank statements. And if you're going to attach naman yung mga assets niyo po, yung savings or savings, insurance, stocks, bonds, at least 1 million Korea won and balance maintained for at least 6 months. And other properties. So far hindi naman kami pasa nito po. Ito lang talaga. Yeah. Okay. And 2-12, if using income or assets of family, statement on family's financial status, documents to prove income. Fill up according to the format in the Embassy of High Korea website, refer to number 4. So, ayan. Okay, by the way, if you are going to attach your income or assets of family within the immediate family lang po yung pwede. Nakalagay po siya dito sa number 4. Only the immediate family members, parents, grandparents, children of the Korean spouse who are registered as one household in the Korean resident registry. So, FYI po, kasi my husband told me na once you get married in Korea, like for example ako, let's say Korean ako, and then my so naka-register pa ako sa household ng mom at dad ko na Korean. So once I get married, mapupunta na po ako sa um, household ng husband ko. Ganun po. So make sure na immediate family lang po. Okay? All right. And yeah, pakibasa na lang po ng numbers 1, 2, and 3. Andun po lahat ng notes. Okay, and then ito nga pala yung income requirement for year 2025. So inviter's total income before tax for the previous 1 year must be more than the amount indicated at the table below. Okay, for the previous 1 year must be more than the amount. It should not be less than. So let's say two-member household kayo. So kayo lang dalawa yung husband nyo, diba? So let's say 23,595,948. So 23 million, to divide mo yan ng 12. So if your husband is making like 2 million a year, so pwede na yun. Or three-member naman kayo, so you, your child, and your husband. Or if meron kayong dalawang kids, ikaw at yung husband mo. So dito kayo sa 36,586,638. Divide 12. So if your husband is making 3 million a year, then pwede na po din yun. So paki-calculate na lang kung ilang member household or ilan kayong member sa inyong household po. Alright? Okay, so that's the income requirement. But again, if you have kids or pregnant kayo 20 weeks and above, then no need to submit the income requirement documents po. Okay? Okay, let's move on sa proof of Korean language proficiency of the foreign spouse. Okay, so ito naman yung precaution. Please submit one of the documents below if the applicant is not exempted from the proficiency exception conditions and is not able to submit any of the requirements stated below. The applicant must take the Korean language proficiency test at the embassy. For those who will take the test at the embassy, Korean language proficiency will be determined depending on the test results. And there is no need to submit below requirements if the applicant is exempted from the Korean language proficiency. So refer below number 1. And if foreign spouse is not Filipino, please inquire at the embassy. Okay, so let's read number 1 first because again, basahin muna natin before kayo mag-ready ng mga requirements because baka exempted kayo. 'Di ba? Okay, number 1. So exempted from proof of Korean language proficiency. Submission of proof of Korean language proficiency is waived. Okay. 1. If there is a child born between the couple or if the wife is pregnant 20 weeks and above with a child between the couple. So again, as mentioned, kagaya to sa proof of income requirement, no, na hindi ka na pwedeng no need na to submit yung proof of income if meron kayong anak or you're pregnant 20 weeks and above. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, if the Korean spouse submits proof of acquiring required score of English proficiency test, so kita na yung star dyan, all right, of English proficiency test. Okay, so if your Korean husband po, meron ganito, so required English proficiency test for TOEIC, or at least 785, TOEFL, etc. Diba? Dito po, pakitingin na lang. And note, only test conducted within 2 years from the visa application date will be accepted. So if your husband or your Korean spouse took the exam 5 years ago, so hindi na po yung pwede. So within 2 years lang po. Okay, so kung um, meron silang test or meron silang score doon, paki-attach na lang po. All right, and then magiging exempted ka na. Number 3, if the Korean spouse has passed the English interview conducted at the embassy, so kung merong English, I'm actually not sure of this, bakit may English interview. I couldn't remember na in-interview yung husband ko because I think my husband speaks English pretty much. Yeah. Or number 4, if the Korean spouse has stayed in Korea with spouse F6 status in the past. So again, if F6 ka at bumalik ka po with F6, then exempted na po kayo. Not applicable if the Korean spouse is different or Korean spouse is the same marriage but was discontinued. Again, same note. Okay, so if you see my note or sheet po here, diba? So mostly 3-1 to 3-6. 3-7 lang po sa akin yung applicable, husband to do. Okay, proof that Korean spouse has stayed in a country for more than 1 year where English is a native or official language, including the Philippines. So ito po yung naka I I must say ito yung ginawa po namin na hindi na po ako nag-take ng exam sa embassy or hindi ako nag-do ng wala akong certificate of completion sa King's Sejong or test proficiency. I did not do any of these po. Wala akong ginawang mga exams. Okay, ito lang yung sinabit ng husband ko. And then my husband has stayed in the Philippines for so long. So for many, many years na po. So kaya nag-ano lang kami, nag-attach kami ng entry or exit certificate or yung mga visa, anong tawag do'n, yung visa extension niya po na mga receipts. So yun lang po yung in-attach namin. Okay, and then I didn't take any exam or test or anything like that. All right, so wait lang po kasi someone's at the door. Sorry, my husband just came back from work. All right, so again, that's it, and I just did the 3-7 where my husband provided an entry or exit certificate of handwritten statement, no specific format. Okay. All right, so I didn't do any of these. But again, I know I get a lot of questions if I took the exam, and I also read a lot of like comments po sa mga kapwa natin Filipino na they took the certificate of completion from King Sejong Institute. Haven't heard of this, but I guess merong mga ano dyan, like they study Korean for I don't know how many months and then they take TOEIC and certificate of completion from other designated institutions. So if naka-finish po kayo ng Korean language and designate from a designated institution, just make sure na accredited yung institution or accepted ng embassy yun. Or if you are a college or postgraduate degree, you have degree or diploma in Korean language, or you have a proof that the Filipino spouse has a Korean ethnicity. And if the Korean, this one maybe 3-6, proof that Filipino spouse has stayed in Korea for more than 1 year. So probably meron po tayong mga kapwa Filipino dito na nila na-meet yung husband nila while working with with a valid working visa po. So yeah, yun na lang yung i-submit niyo. All right, so just make sure that you have you read the remarks po para sure. Okay. All right, let's move on. So fourth and fifth, ito na po yung pinaka-last. So fourth is residential requirement document of the Korean spouse. So address of the residential document submitted must be the same with the address of the Korean resident register certificate. Okay, so ito lang po sa amin yung 4-1 lang po yung nasend, oh sorry, 4-2 and 3 kasi nga we don't own an apartment at the moment and we just moved in Korea and my husband too. So rent lang po kami. Okay. And also address of the residential document. So as you can see here, meron silang um, Korean resident registration 1-13. So kung ano yung nandun sa Korean registration po, registration, yun din po yung nakalagay dito. Okay, so dapat magkatugma po sa kanila. So for example, yung husband ko is actually from a different city and yung workplace niya po is different city and dito na din po yung address or dito po yung paano ba yan, nagre-rent ng apartment kasi nga we want to be more convenient sa workplace at hindi sa malayong city. Um, nag-ano po siya, nag-update po siya ng uh, address, sabi niya sa akin. Okay, so if rent, real estate register, and one photocopy of contract of lease. Again, that's very easy to get. When I asked my husband how, he did that like binigay lang daw, like very easy and very quickly. All right. If owned naman, then you just have to send them the real estate register. So I'm not sure, hindi ko natanong if nasa website ba to or something, but I'm pretty sure na alam nila yon. They all already have the document with them. All right. So number one, residential requirement. Let's read the notes together po. Documents submitted to satisfy residential requirement must be owned or rented by the Korean spouse, his or her immediate family members or siblings. In case the house is owned or rented by a third person, residential requirement is not satisfied. However, if the reason is acceptable by social norms, such as company housing, residential requirement may be satisfied even if owned or rented by third person. All right, so note lang po kayo niyan na like for example, yung friend nyo yung ng nagre-rent ng bahay. Like it doesn't make sense bakit yung friend mo yung nagbabayad, 'di ba? So hindi yan satisfy ng residential requirement po. But if company housing, I think this is very common, merong pa company housing, pwede yun. Pero i-attach nyo lang na from the company yun or sila yung nag-rent on behalf sa inyo po. Okay? All right. Lastly, proof of courtship. So 5-1, 5-2, ito lang po yung ginawa namin, 5-1. So this is commonly required. Documents to prove course of courtship and or authenticity of marriage. So submit A4 paper format with maximum of 5 pages. Contents may be prepared freely, such as date pictures, family pictures, and SNS communication history. All right. So what we did was we, of course, we prepared A4 paper. Okay, let's follow the remarks po. A4 paper, and then we put lang our pictures from the day we met, saan kami nakita, and it was not online dating or whatever. So we really met personally somewhere. So yun yung nilagay namin. So ito yung unang pagkikita namin. Next is this is like these are the pictures na we were living together at a specific time. So photos lang tapos may konting description. So it could be English or Korean. All right. So photos namin until I met his family. He met my family and also sa marriage na and then also together living with kids. And yun lang po. And then maximum of 5 pages na po. So, yeah. If you need to resize the photos, then i-resize na lang po if you have many photos to attach. Right? And we did not do the SNS, or I think we did like siguro mga 2 or 3, ganun lang. All right, so we are so done again with the F6 visa. So yun lang po yung mga pinaka requirements. We have basic requirements, we have income requirement, proof of Korean language proficiency of the foreign spouse, residential requirement of the Korean spouse, and the proof of courtship. So 5 main requirements po. All right, but if meron kayong, ito po yung simplified requirements depending on the case. All right, number one, if the child is born between the couple or if the wife is pregnant, 20 weeks and above with the child between the couple. So ito yung po yung sinasabi ko sa itaas na if meron na kayong anak or yung wife mo po is pregnant, 20 weeks and above, and then makakapag-submit na kayo ng proof, then you don't need to do the language proficiency and also the income requirements. So, bale, yung tatlo lang, 1, 2, 3. At yun na. Dito na kayo tumingin. Huwag na kayong tumingin dun sa pinakataas po. Ito na po yung checklist nyo. Okay? All right. All right. In case of pregnancy, exemption from submission of tuberculosis medical certificate when submitting pregnancy medical certificate and ultrasound examination results. So, you don't need to do tuberculosis. Okay? Exempted na din po. As long as andito siya. All right, number two, list of requirements for those exempted from Korean marriage guidance programs such as pregnancy. So, I think ito yung bale if exempted ka po if again pregnant. Okay, yun lang po yung sinabi. And if the foreign spouse has stayed long or short in Korea with spouse F6. So if you had F6 status in the past, then tatlo lang din po. So wala na yung income requirement at saka yung ano ba yun? Korean proficiency. All right. So notice to all, original PSA marriage certificate is no longer a requirement. However, it may still be required. So again, this is the updated one, no? So again, 9/8/2025. So September 8. So when we applied, that was July. So of course, meron namang nakalagay doon na PSA, but actually andun pa siya sa checklist before. So again, make sure to read or refer to the new ones because baka kasi tinignan nyo to 2030, 2028, 2029, baka lang. All right. So hindi na to applicable po. So make sure na you look at the ano talaga, yung pinaka-website nila and make sure na basahin mabuti po. Okay? All right. So, yes, so far. Okay. Okay. Dito na po tayo sa pinaka-precautions and very, very important po to. So, we have 1 to 9 po. All right, number one, above list of requirements is created on June. So, this is wrong because, again, ginawa nila itong September 8. So, they have to update this. QA lang ang show. Visa requirements may change without prior notice according to the changes on visa screening criteria. Therefore, please check the embassy website for any changes on the requirements before applying for visa. So, ito na nga yung sinasabi ko na whatever yung mga vloggers dyan or nagme-make ng video na these are all the requirements, it might not be applicable po in a couple of months. So, I think frequent sila nag-update ng kanilang visa po. So, I think yung napansin ko lang sa mga Koreans, they want to simplify whatever because why do they need to ask for PSA marriage if nasubmit na naman yung PSA na apostille dito sa Korea, diba? It doesn't make sense to them. Like, why do they need to have that again sa kanila? Na yung pinaka-marriage certificate from Korea, yun na naman yung nag-show na married kayo and then nagpasa na din kayo ng PSA before. Diba? So, they're actually simplifying everything and avoiding redundancy. So that's what I noticed sa mga Korean requirements. Hindi, like, unlike us, like, maraming attachments. All right. Number two, please prepare the requirements according to the list since submission may be denied if the requirements are incomplete. All right. So let's say ito yung pinaka-folder nyo. Diba? So arrange them. So ito yung basic certificate. Lagay nyo 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, and 2- something for the income requirement. So make sure you organize it and make it easy for them to check your requirements. So when you get there, hindi na kayo hindi sila natatagalan na mag-check ng requirements niyo. All right, so make it easy for them. Okay, so additional requirements above, additional documents may be requested during the visa application or screening process if deemed required. So when we visited the embassy, actually wala naman silang hiningi pa ng additional, but then may nakalimutan kasi yung husband ko na dalhin. So sabi nila na i-email na lang sa kanila. So na-scan lang namin tapos na-email na namin sa kanila. Okay? So, pero I think if marami yung kulang, then ibabalik nila sa inyo and then you have to go back. So, depende na lang. But again, make sure, especially if malayo kayo sa embassy, para hindi na kayo pabalik-balik, then i-ready nyo na lahat. Okay, number three, visa application. Foreign spouse, us, must submit the visa application documents in person at the KVAC. Application via mail or through representative will not be accepted. Okay, so this is what I'm telling you guys. Like, ikaw talaga mismo yung pupunta sa KVAC para i-submit yung application nyo. So this is the address sa sa Manila. Pero sa Cebu is dun siya sa China Bank, near sa Ayala Business Center. Yeah, yung pinaka-unang Ayala. Hindi po sa Ayala Central Block, sa IT Park. Hindi po yun. So, dito lang po malapit sa Ayala Business Park. Okay, so China Bank, 12th floor. Okay, four, visa processing takes 15 working days. However, processing may be extended due to the duration. And therefore, if flight tickets are bought in advance according to the release date, disadvantages such as cancellation of flight. So again, do not ever ever book a flight kung wala pa kayong or hindi pa ano yung visa nyo like approved. And also number five, you still have to go through CFO guidance and counseling. All right. So if if well, kasi okay, ito yung experience ko guys. I'm gonna talk more about it sa CFO na video ko. So it took me about siguro mga working days, diba? So I applied July 30. We got it around, I forgot dito ba or dito? Basta mga, I think dito na week. Dito na week. So, working days is Monday to Friday lang po. Pero kung merong mga holidays, so kagaya ng August maraming holidays, di ba? So, skip me yun kasi nga holiday, it's not a working day. So, I think dito na namin nakuha yung result namin. Okay. And again, number five, do not ever get, because after that, kunin, magpa-schedule kayo kaagad sa CFO. Oo, kasi yung Korean pa naman ay hindi nyo nakukuha kaagad yung certificate yung CFO kasi meron siyang additional seminar online through Zoom. Mm. And hindi ko alam po yun, guys. Akala ko pagkatapos ng CFO seminar ay okay na. Meron pa palang ibang para sa Korean lang po. So yung ibang papuntang Amerika or Europe wala po sila nun. Sa Korean lang. Okay, very unfortunate. Okay, so number six, if incorrect information is written on the forms or fake documents are submitted, visa application will be denied. All right, so wag na po tayo maging ganito po. So make sure all your information ay tama at hindi siya fake po. Okay? Kasi mababan po kayo sa Korea, or if andito na po kasi sa Korea, papareport po kayo, and then you'll also have to pay for the fine, or baka ano po kayo. Ayan. Okay, number seven. All documents do not require translation or authentication. So when I asked the embassy if need ba nila ng apostille birth certificate or apostille NBI, police clearance, whatever, wala po. Walang need na ipapa-apostille. Alright, so yun lang talaga yung original from PSA or kahit saan. So no need for translation or authentication. Hindi kagaya ng mag-submit sa LCRO na kailangan i-translate or papasend natin or when we register our marriage sa Korea, need natin yan ipapa-apostle or translate to husband mo. So wala. Okay, number eight. If your marriage is first reported in the Philippines, please check the date of marriage in the Korean marriage history certificate is identical. So well, if makukuha niyo naman yung Korean marriage or marriage history certificate niyo po, of course, compare and contrast. Check nyo if same ba yung date. Okay, para make sure lang. Okay, number nine, for inquiries, please send email to visa section of the embassy to pa yung email nila or call them. Okay, so, and they're pretty responsive po sa email. So, kagaya ko kasi, I cannot go to embassy para magtanong because I'm too far from the embassy. It would take me, I think, 3-4 hours to get there. So, nag-email pa ko sa kanila. So, nag-respond naman po sila. Just make sure to follow up lang po kasi I think they receive a lot of emails then through the day, no? So make sure your email is on top of their inbox. So make sure to follow up. And they're very nice. They even called my husband kasi nag-request yung husband ko ng tawag from them. All right, so that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you learned something from my video. It's kind of long, but I'll try to edit this na para ma-crunch yung time niya. And if you have any questions, just make sure to comment down below, or you have my email, or some people actually reach out sa TikTok namin or sa Instagram, para siguro, madali kasi i-check sa Instagram versus dito sa YouTube, but I do respond sa mga comments, so just comment down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe dito sa YouTube namin, and we will I think I'm gonna do a CFO review or process sa next video call. And if you also need like a walkthrough on how to like book an appointment online, kasi nga sa Cebu again, we have to book, hindi siya walk-in po kagaya ng Manila. So if you also need that, just let me know and I might do it. All right, thank you again for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!